To say thanks for making Subway footlongs famous, get any piled high regular footlong for just $5. $5 footlongs. Hurry, a celebration this great won't last long. At Subway.
Hi, this is Sean with Storytime. Today's Storytime is about the worst job I've ever had. Well, it started in 2005. I moved into with a friend and relative, and I agreed that I had to get a job because I never had a job before. Never, not even in high school, wasn't allowed to. My adopted mom wouldn't permit me to have a job, so first job I landed is Subway. But we already know how fast food restaurants go. As far as employment status, they suck. Call anytime they feel like calling in. But anyway, on with the story. And then it was 2005, my first job. Started at Subway. It went good for the first 3 or 4 weeks. I'd say 2 weeks. And it went good for 2 weeks. Then I was taking GED classes to try to get my GED. And I met this girl, and she goes, "Hey, where you're working?" I said, "Subway." She goes, "Did he have any other job openings?" I said, "I had to beg, practically had grovel to get that one. But she says, "Well, you mind if I try?" I said, "It's free country, ain't it? You do it whatever the hell you want to do. If you're that stupid, go ahead." She comes in and she says, "All right." So I'm working. I went in at 1 o'clock. That's the cat, the baby kitten crying. Well, I went into work after school was over. My class was done. I went to work. I didn't finish any of my other classes. I just brought the work home with me to do, and I went on to Subway to do my work. Well, and I went there but maybe 15 minutes. And who comes in here? This girl. Let's call her Hess. Let's call her Hess. Hess walks in, and she goes, "Hi," and she was wearing a real low-cut top. Short shorts. She looked like a regular head. Okay, and there's the manager's son, Googling her. Boy, good thing your eyeballs are attached to your back. Your head, his would have fallen out and rolled all over the substation, the workstation. Well, okay, I'm there for 2 weeks. I'm doing pretty good. I did everything I was supposed to do. Went in even when I had to, even when wasn't scheduled to work. They called me in and make me go. They called me in, and I would drop what I'm doing and go to work. One day when I wasn't even scheduled to work, they called me in, and I had made plans to go to the beach, so I had to screw all those plans over. And I screwed my plans over about going to the beach and went down to work because I need a few. Who doesn't need a few extra dollars in their thing? So I went down there and was doing some extra work, working my butt off. And it wasn't good for 2 weeks. I was just bringing in customers. I was actually stealing customers from another gentleman I had known since I was a child, which I shouldn't have done, but since I was a big item at the other mall. This is going to be another story. This is where the mall I worked at that's going to be in a different story time. But I brought people in from the mall that I used to work at and brought them down here. And the work I did at the mall was volunteer work. It was part of a project I was doing for school. But I was bringing people in from that mall, which was cutting into the business of the other people that were in the mall. There was another restaurant called, it's an Italian restaurant. I can't even pronounce the name of it. You know how those Italians are, but it was an Italian restaurant. Very good food. But they were coming down to Subway, giving up decent Italian food for a crappy sub. To me, it didn't make any sense. But it was me. Girlfriend. It was me, girl. It was me. All me. All me, girlfriend. All me, guys. Just all me. But no nails, no makeup. What you saw is what you get. All me. But anyway, after 2 weeks, this lady's boyfriend needed a date for the junior prom at Titusville High School. So she comes in and she looks at me and says, "Would you be willing to go on a date with my son?" And me, I said no, because I'm older than him. By this time, I'm almost 40 years old. 40, big 40, 40. And he's like 16, you know. That would not go over very big, that I know. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. So I said no, because it's inappropriate. I'm old enough to be the child's mama. Why am I going to stoop that low? Why would he even stoop that low to ask me? So I refused. And 3 days later, I went to work, and it was slow that day. And she goes, "I've got too many Indians and not enough chiefs. So you just go home early. I know you got your test coming up," which was bogus. I had already taken that damn test 2 nights before. She didn't know it, but she wasn't right in the head. And that's beside the point. Neither was her son, but he looked. Now, I'm sure a lot of you remember the Addams Family, the movie, and you've seen the character Lurch. Some of you might even remember the old TV series, Addams Family with Lurch. That's what this woman's son looked like, Lurch. And I was not about to go out with him. One, I was almost 40, and he was 16. That is not a really good mixture. There was like a 20-some year difference between our ages, so I'm not even going to go there. But anyway, since I turned down her son, she went to this other girl and said, "Would you go?" And this other girl, who was dressed like a hoe, said, "Sure." And 2 days later, I'm going, and I checked the work schedule, and I said, "I'm not on, let's call our manager, Cress. I said, "Hey, Cress, I'm not on the schedule." She goes, "I know, since you worked every day last week, you have to have 3 days off." So she told me it was company policy. So, I don't know that much about Subway. I don't know their company policies or what they have on employment standards or anything. But so I went and I enjoyed the next 3 days. I went and I was to the beach after I left class. So I would go to my classes. I left there, went to the beach, went to the mall, and hung out and did, just doofy stuff. I'd go to Cocoa Beach down there in Ron John Surf Shop and explore and check out and, do things like that. But, so 3 days, and that was Thursday I went back down because I was off Monday. I was off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday I went back down, and I said, "Cress, I'm still not on the schedule." She goes, "Oh, I know, I'm still working on it." So she said, "Come back Friday." So I went back Friday. Still not on the schedule. But now I'm starting to get a little concerned. I said, "Cress, what's going on? I need my paycheck in order to pay the rent. It's coming up, and I don't have." She corners me like this. She goes, "Well, you are like a stupid little robot. Blah, 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 blah." I know it, and she fired me on the spot. She goes, "You're fired." I said, "You better give me that dang stuff in writing too, saying what she just finished telling me I'm a stupid little robot." I said, "I want that crap in writing, and I'm going to take it to my attorney, and we're going to have a little discussion." Yeah, well, unfortunately, the way the Subway is set up, the attorney couldn't do anything about it. I said, "Look, I've got a disability. I've got depression. I've got anxiety, and I may be bipolar. So I need the job, dude." He says, "Nothing I can do. It's the way the company's set up." So, okay. So that was the worst job I ever had. The worst job experience. I don't even want to go in how they had their coolers. It was just disgusting. Oh, it was terrible how they. If you ever want to know what a fast food restaurant is on the inside, behind the scenes, ask an employee. They will tell you the truth. Because I can tell you a horror story, that's going to be another one, about the time I worked at McDonald's and how sorry it really was, and how bad the business practice and business models is really for these ones. So if you're out there and you're looking for a job, try Walmart, try Walmart, try Walmart. Keep going back, because eventually they will start hiring, but just keep knocking at that door till it falls in. Be like a zombie. Keep pushing. That door is eventually going to open. Do not settle for a job at a fast food restaurant, because if you want to know how they operate, ask an employee and they will tell you up front it is bad business. But for the most part, that was really, seriously folks, that was the worst experience I had at working. I have more horror stories about places I've worked, but this is the worst one. It was terrible. The business practice was terrible. The manager was just absurd, ridiculous, insulting, offensive. Oh, okay, here's what really might have ticked her off too, to the point it pushed her over the edge, because she didn't like me from the word go. Because I was on time, I worked hard, I didn't hang out with any of the other employees. I went in, did my thing, got my shift done and over with, and went home. Did what I had to do for school, and go back and then. So I wasn't a party animal. I didn't go bar hopping. I didn't go hang out with the employees and sit and beer over to the nearest bar, which is right down the 4 storefronts down. There's a big one called Beef O'Brady's. I didn't go in there and have beer and hang out with them, because 1, I didn't have the money. 2, I'm not that kind of, yes, I drink a little. I'll drink my margaritas and my daiquiris and some wine on occasion, but I'm not a heavy drinker. I'm not a party animal. I don't get gassed or smashed or wasted, anything like that. That's why she didn't like me. And to top it off, there's another, this is just a prequel. But I'm going to do some more research. I'm sure I can find more information on the story that's coming. I busted up a story, headlines, it was all over the news, about a meat market. Well, I didn't know the manager was dating the guy who ran the meat market down the street. This is going to be another, but I'm just setting it up. And these two were an item. I did not know that, but when it all came down to it, I had to think about other people first. There's other businesses that were in there. Even Beef O'Brady's had to close. Kelsey's had to close. That was another little pizza shop. Dollar General, a hair salon, Department of Corrections, AutoZone, and there was something else, and right off the top of my head I can't think of it, but they all had to close up because this meat market, the guy who ran this meat market did not pay his bills because he was doing drugs out of the back of his thing. And the power company came in and cut the power, and they did not realize he had a freezer full of meat, and no one even bothered to check it. Even the strip mall owner never bothered to check. But anyway, that's the end of the story about the worst job I ever had. So, again, give me a like, a subscribe, give me 5 likes, and I'll go on to story number 2 about my second worst job I've ever had. So, give me 5 likes, and that'll do the next story. So for now, I'm going to say goodnight. See you later. I'm on a low battery charge right now. My battery's fixing to go out on my camera, so I'm going to see you later, and I will talk with you in the next video. Goodbye.